Welcome back to Mountain Connections this morning. Now, you may not be aware, but June is Vitiligo Awareness Month. Not only is it a cosmetic condition, but it's also an autoimmune disease. And here to talk to us today is Dr. Elbuluk, who is a board-certified dermatologist, as well as patient Mary. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having us. Great to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So, doctor, explain to me, what is vitiligo and how does it affect patients?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So vitiligo is an autoimmune condition of the skin, and essentially what happens in those who are genetically predisposed to it is that their antibodies start attacking a skin cell called a melanocyte. Now, we all have melanocytes, but in individuals with vitiligo, once those melanocytes are getting attacked, they start developing lighter patches in those areas. In terms of how it affects people, physically, some people can experience itching with the patches, but it also has really profound psychological, emotional, and social manifestations for those who are affected. So it is an autoimmune condition, and we actually try to really stress the fact that it's not a cosmetic condition. It is a medical condition, and it's really one that deserves appropriate attention and support.
Thank you for explaining that. Now, Mary, what has been your personal experience with vitiligo?
My personal experience was an interesting one. I was diagnosed at the age of 8. So at first, at that age, no one's really thinking about, the little spot. Mine started as a wound. It healed, but it remained as a white patch. And I got officially diagnosed as a vitiligo patient. And from there on, I didn't think it would spread, right? I thought it would remain as it was. And while I enter middle school, that's where it started to spread. And I live in Miami, so it's extremely hot. And as the patches spread, I started to hide my skin because I would get, I experienced bullying or negative feedback, a lot of staring. And it's been a journey to trying to accept my skin and who I am.
Absolutely. I can imagine you just seem to have such a positive disposition as well. So why is it important to raise awareness?
Yeah, it's extremely important to raise awareness because there's a misperception that vitiligo is only a cosmetic issue, when in reality it's an autoimmune condition, but it also affects, at least me mentally, right? So it really got me through a downward spiral. And without the help of my dermatologist, I was able to sort of see other resources, right? She helped me medically, right, with different treatments, but she also was able to provide tips and advice and specific, resources or places that I could go to find out a bit more about vitiligo.
Dr. Elbuluk, tell us a bit about more information.
Yeah, so for those who are interested, we're partnering with Insight today to really increase awareness and education about vitiligo. And they've created a wonderful website called gettoknowvitiligo.com. So for anyone who wants to learn more, we encourage them to check out the website and just learn more about what vitiligo is and who it affects, and more about it.
Mary, one last question. What are the key takeaways that you hope our viewers get from this interview?
Yeah, so it's really important to understand that it's okay not to be okay. Having vitiligo can be a challenge, but it doesn't mean that it would always be perfect. I know all of us kind of seem, since it's viewed as a cosmetic issue, it kind of seems as though it can just be fixed, by covering up, and it's not something that can easily, be fixed, because at home we still have to go home and take off that makeup and have to face ourselves in the mirror, right? So that's an important aspect to understand, but also to know that there are resources, and especially to reach out to a dermatologist if you know someone or if you yourself have vitiligo, because it can really help you create a path for that journey.
Well, Mary and Dr. Elbuluk, thank you so much for joining us this morning and help raising awareness around vitiligo and the effects of it and how to diagnose it. Now, we have a lot more here on the show, lots of interesting topics, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Mountain Connections.